So Unravelanche here. Unravelanche is it's part a short story, part a small story, almost a children's story in a way, a very simple story, and part concrete and collage poems. And in the fiction of the story, the concrete and collage poems are photographs taken by the main character, the ice pilot. They're photographs of a snowstorm made out of words that she's witnessing. In our world, the concrete poems, they're each collaged from a single book, and each of them tries to capture in very few words something of the spirit of that book, but also something of the anti-spirit of that book, if you will, something that maybe wasn't meant to be in there, that kind of crept in there, or only comes out when you arrange the words in a certain way. Because that's one of the things I really I think of as poetry being very attuned to, very good for, is finding things that are sort of not quite meant to be there, that you have to squint to see. So I'm going to read a little from the book, but before I do, I'm just going to get into a sort of costume and change this fake bookshelf background that I've got. There is a practical reason for this as well, in that our central heating is broken here. So it is actually bitterly cold. Let me check. I've got my setting. Got my background up. I'll put these gloves on. Oops, wrong way around. There we are. Right, let's see how far I can get through in about 8 minutes. I think it'll be about probably halfway through the book. The ice pilot leaves her boat, setting out on foot across the pans. This is north of the circle, north of the spit, beyond the final chapter of land as we know it. No epilogue, no afterword, no postscript. Fast ice, then the flows. Pages and pages of white. She takes with her a sled, a folding field camera, biscuits, tins of pemmican, skis and stove, lamp, collapsible kayak, pick, cocoa. Her course plotted, she walks for 3 days before unpacking the camera, loading the first plates, exposing them. East Anglia shipwrecks. New Gypsy, John Hunter, Raby, Vulcan, Castle, Speedwell, Atalanta, Goodway. These were the smacksmen salvages from Brightling Sea. They were close to panic. The shock brought them tumbling out. Cat's Cradle. Green, earth, blue, white, pearl, the great door of heaven. Ah, whom? I looked up at the sky where the bird had been. It buzzed like bees, it swayed. We all looked up, and then at one another. This is the outer membrane of the storm, its stray, surly thrusts, their impression on silver salts in gelatin. These images, when later developed, will prove what the ice pilot already knows. There is a library trapped in the ice. No, not trapped, fused, overlapped, intermaterialized. and for some time its structural integrity has been weakening. Its edges are being shorn off, slivers of it carried for miles. Words from the same text, she sees, retain a powerful attraction to one another, forming sentences as they settle on the ground. The ghost with trembling wings. Golden, toad, harlequin, frog, flamboyantly coloured, temporary puddles. Imagine a maker of jewellery conjuring a bangle in the shape of an amphibian, pouring in the hot molten metal, burnishing and polishing the cooling cast. The mysterious flame of Queen Loanna, pure-blooded, Italian, half-powdered face, lie, voici, Annabella, apes, curves, bony. But beautiful above all else were the images in magazines and publicity posters of brash, dishevelled legs, dark eyes on delicate soldiers. The hullabaloo of winds increases hour on hour, along with their verbosity. The ice pilot menaces herself with pronouncements. She hates the cold. She hates the thick and greasy pemmican. She's ever on the cusp of becoming lost, fooled by the movement of the drift ice beneath her. But the library has called to no one else. There are others who are distantly, coolly aware of it, yes. But for them, it is enough to know that it exists, to conjure its impression every now and then. She alone is compelled to become enveloped in it. Proverb: every kind of courage has its corresponding torrent, waiting to swallow it whole. His last bow. 9 o'clock, sun long set, the study, the terrace, the lock, dust, coat, small blue book. The lights of a small car shone vividly into the open safe. He broke a small key from his watch chain. The sweet old song, "It is my ruin forever." Biggles in the jungle. Rifle, petrol, tank, lucky shot, glancing blow, a brisk fire, a jagged hole, pink dawn. Then, round a shoulder of rock far below them, appeared that tiger, the mounting sun. Algae emptied his revolver into the animal's sleek flank. The left hand of darkness. Thieves, fog, dusk, jitters, cinders, socket, hiss, waxing, moon, freak, soot, sledge, peak. Up here, the ice shakes less. The lower valley of the glaciers behind us is white with steam, ash and snow, fire and dark, a dull red bloom on the belly of night. Far from the madding crowd, Bright air, rains, kingfisher, low dress, shires, bonds, wind, wood, cow, shed, blue wood smoke, knot of sparrows. The sluggish day began to break. The hat she had lost in the wind, its noiselessness that of a hawk. A boy bringing a milking pail, a bowed sapling. Lying bruisedly in her tent, the ice pilot writes imaginary lines in an imaginary journal. She mulls over the fate of empires, not to disappear, leaving the odd broken plinth, but to be gnawed to particles, those particles mixing in flurries and eddies, to become indecipherably woven together with former enemies, with the lowly and left in the dust, to become a faint spray across the star that lights another empire. Outside the tent, the wind is so loud and so garrulous, it seems almost to loop back again into silence. Sinking slow toward morning, the ice pilot is close to convincing herself that the storm is an echo or a recollection, that she is in a cabin on a ship, playing it on repeat, as if a twin-spooled tape ran hissing from ear to ear. I'm going to leave it there and leave you, if you fancy, oh, well, that is it gonna, there we go. Leave you to read the rest if you like.